Ladies and gentlemen, pleasure is mine to bring to the microphone one of the finest leaders and presidents, not just in Ghana, but in Africa, Mr. President John Dramani Mahama. Please show him some love.
When Apostle preached and we went through the evening, some things aligned. There was a divine alignment. And I left Impact very confident that we were going to win the election. And so, a year after, we are here to seek further alignment. And this time, it's not alignment that we achieve victory in elections. It's alignment that the responsibility that God has given us, we are able to bear that responsibility and make life better for the people of Ghana. After Apostle spoke, Papa said, "What a word. Indeed, what a word." And it's difficult speaking after a man like that. But let me tell you what happened. When Papa announced Impact, a letter came to my office and said I should choose the day I'll attend. And my office wrote back and said I'll come on Monday. And so later I spoke to Papa and I said, "Oh, Papa, I'm supposed to come to you on Monday." He said, "Yeah, but if you come on Monday, your friend Apostle Joshua Selman is not preaching on Monday." So I asked, "When is he preaching?" And Papa told me the days, and I said, "I'll be here on Thursday." No, because he just doesn't preach the word. He relates it to our practical realities. I mean, when he was preaching, I felt personally like he was talking to me. He said, "Let your success define you. And that success will find you because of who you are and not what you did." And it happens. You see two people, they have the same amount of money, they're selling the same goods, but one prospers and one doesn't. And he related it to our mindset and the signals that follow us. There are people who are angry, there are people who hate, there are people who envy. And so based on your mindset, those are the signs that will follow you. And he demonstrated it practically. And so if honesty, if favor, if faith, if happiness, if victory are the signs that follow you, you'll be successful. And so it's not being aggressive for success. It is having the right alignments of signs behind you that will make you successful. And while he was talking, the thought of Matthew 25 came into my mind. And in Matthew 25, you have the parable of the talents. And so the three servants were giving the same amount of money, and the master traveled. Their mindset was the result the master came back and met. What happened? One gave his master the talents with profit. The other gave his master the same amount of talents that he left him. And what did the third do? His master banished him because he was such a foolish servant. And so our mindsets relate not only to our lives in our families. And he said, Africa, don't be upset. And I understood why he said, Africa, don't be upset. Because there are nations that are great. We go there, we admire them, but they are great because of their mindset. You go to Korea, you admire Korea and say, how did Korea that had the same GDP as Ghana today come where it is, and Ghana is still where we are? It's the mindset of the people. They believe that their nation can be great. And so in everything they do, they work towards that greatness. Unfortunately, years of cynicism have affected our mindsets, not only in Ghana, but in Africa. And we believe that whatever we do, we are destined for poverty. And I hear people say, why did we even get independence? We should have just stayed and the white man will continue to colonize us. But there are people who have that mindset. And so that person is never, ever going to do anything to prove our forebears who won independence for us right. Because he believes that help is hopeless. We can't do anything to change our circumstances. And that mindset translates into their own lives. Because if you feel helpless, that you cannot do anything to change the circumstances of your nation, then that same helplessness will make you unable to change the fortunes of your own life. I believe positively that Ghana is made for greatness. If all of us would develop that positive mindset that we can make this nation the greatest country in Africa, it will happen. Apostle used recalibrate 3 times. He said there must be a recalibration. There must be a recalibration of the mindset. It's only when you recalibrate the mindset that the negative signs that are following you would leave you and be replaced by positive signs. Now, if you look at synonyms for recalibrate, one of those synonyms in school, our English teachers taught us synonyms and antonyms. So synonyms are words that are similar to that word, and antonyms are words that are opposite to the word you're using. And one of the synonyms of recalibrate is what? Reset. So when we say reset agenda, it involves a recalibration of our mindset. It is a reprogramming. For those of you who go on the computer, when the computer gets corrupted and it freezes, you have to reset, press the reset button. So in Ghana, let's press that reset button together. It doesn't take only the leader's vision. It takes the majority of us sharing the same mindset and sharing in the leader's vision for us to be able to achieve what we want to achieve. So Apostle Selman, God bless you. And as for the Papa of the house and Lady Rosa, we are family. And when Papa was talking, he stopped at a certain point when he was talking about how you expect a husband to be and a wife to be and all that. And he always marvels. He says, but how come you are the man and you're so calm and humble, and your wife, Lordina, is rather the, aggressive, pushy one? But I'll tell you a story just to end this. Time is not on our side. I've told this story before. Some people have heard it. We celebrated our 30th anniversary, wedding anniversary. And no, this was 5 years ago. How many years ago? We celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary, and we found ourselves in our pastor's office. And then as we were talking, we said, 30 years of marriage, haven't we done well? And Lordina was particularly waxing lyrical. We have done so well, in this marriage. But for me, this marriage would not have lasted. I am the one who has tolerated this man, And she kept at it. And I was a little foolish boy at the time. So I was arguing with her. I said, no, if it's not my patience and tolerance, this marriage would have collapsed long ago. And so we had an argument back and forth. And we left, all of us, holding to our idea and not talking too much to each other. And then my pastor said, why do you argue? He says, when a woman holds that view, there's no way you can ever change it. So there's no need to argue. And then it was like a movie. 5 years later, we're in the same pastor's office. And Lordina said exactly the same thing. Since 35 years of marriage, look at us. I am the one responsible for the survival of this marriage. And I remembered what our pastor said. And I said, yes, my wife, you are so beautiful. But for you, this marriage would have ended. I mean, a man like me, who would want to marry me? Who would want to keep me? I know what happened, the climax. What tea did you drink this morning? And so let me thank you very, very much this evening. It is a standard you expect when you come for Impact. And I wouldn't say this is extraordinary, because every Impact where our dear brother, Apostle Joshua Selman, comes is as exciting and as beautiful as this. And so we thank God for today. We thank God for Apostle Selman. We thank God for Papa. We thank God for Lady Rosa and the leadership of the Action Faith Ministries. Thank you very much. God richly bless you.